Welcome back to Is It Wrong to Chat with Girls in a Dungeon? Anime Review, episode number 46. We are here reviewing. Well, we're basically reviewing the fifth season of the show. The episode's called Master. This is episode number. If I can scroll down the actual page here. This is episode number 62. Yes. And currently this makes it the second, as of right now, second highest anime for episode count. That is based upon a light novel. The highest being That Time of Crown as a Slime. This being the third highest. But it is noteworthy for being one of the most seasons for anime I've watched where it's based on a light novel. Season 5. Yep. So, 62. This episode, quite interestingly, adapts from the rest of Chapter 1, pretty much the entirety of Chapters 2 and 3, and pretty much the first 14 pages of Chapter 4. Yeah, they adapted a lot of this book. They also skipped... Okay, they skipped all the three monologues they have between the chapters. I don't think they adapted those, no. But... Excuse me. I have a theory of why they're trying to go through this book as quickly as they can. My guess is they'll probably wrap up this book adaptation. This is my personal theory. I think either with the very next episode or the following episode. So we probably got about 2 more episodes of this and then move on to basically book number 17. That might take a little bit more, and then probably the rest of the season with that book 18 to show. My guess is they probably give book 18 a lot of breathing room, given the fact the books are 400 pages. Like, it's longer to book, 14. Yeah, it's longer to book 14. So, we pick up last episode, where Belle is kidnapped by Hedor, I think his name is, the guy who's the elf from the Freya Familia, and he spends a quarter of the episode, I'd say about almost the first 10 minutes of the episode, I'd say getting close to that, where he brings the cafe and basically is aghast the fact that Sire asked him out on a date for the Gods Festival. And it's up to him to basically pretty much on the way train him. Like, first they take him to the cafe, and then pretty much he spends over the course of almost 10 minutes training the man. Over the course of a week prior to the Gods Festival. Meanwhile, though, in case you're curious, though, how is the Hesta family taking this? Well, Belle sends him a letter saying he's fine, skips any help, says, don't look at me, I'm perfectly fine, preparing for basically this particular date with Sire. Involving, how to probably talk to her, how to eat food properly, also walking with books on his head, yes. In case you're curious, though, would walking, putting that much books on your head, does that actually hurt your head? Yes. I've had my head been hit with a book once. It was a graphic novel at a store I went to, where somehow a book fell off a shelf, basically put it back on, and it fell right on my head. Yeah. Do not do that. Okay. Hardcover books basically are the worst. If you ever get hit with those, okay, those things are heavy, and if you ever, because carrying hardcover books in your hand, let's say if you carry more than 3, for me anyways, it caused my wrist to start hurting. Yes, it caused my wrist to start hurting because hardcover books are very heavy to carry. Paperback books are not an issue. I can carry a good amount of those, no problem. It's the hardcover books basically are an issue. So, at the same time with that, well, we also see Ryu, where she is apparently been cleaning the same dish for quite a while. Mamma Mia basically points this out, and, well, she basically mentions, oh yeah, one of my other waitresses basically requested out for a date. That's obviously Sire. And so, basically, the restaurant employees conspire to spy on Sire during her date. But I think, okay, can't leave her empty, can't leave her without any workers. So they bring temps. The Hestia Familia. All of them. Wolf. Wolf. Lily. Hestia, even her. Now, they cut here where Mamma Mia basically mentioned that she does not have uniforms for Prems. That's basically Lily. And she does not have any uniforms for men. Now, in the book, it's mentioned that Wolf made his uniform and Lily's uniform. While the girls basically have their own uniforms. Yeah, I want to make sure I get the names correctly for this one. Because the whole thing with Hestia, where she is basically like, and this is so funny. Like her, you have a goddess washing dishes. A very beautiful goddess, mind you. Yes. And those of you who are new to my channel, basically her English dub actress, Lucia Krishna, of course I'm watching the sub here. This actually is my third favorite character she's voiced in her career, and she does know that. I know that. In case you're curious, how does she know that? I put it on the list, and I told her that in person. And plus, I got her some my copy of the first season show. Oh, okay. So it's Makito and Hiromi. Yep. So they get put in outfits, and there's a common joke where in the course of the episode of flashbacks, the Hestia sucks at dishes. She there's the thing of she kept breaking dishes a lot, and so Lily just practically just kicks her out of the restaurant and says, go look for Belle if you're worried about him. They'll handle the rest. And lasers in their particular scene. So Belle, after going through his grueling training for a week, you see him wearing a suit. Yes, as a matter of fact, it's a suit he wears in the cover of the very book, which, gotta give high praise for JC Staff for getting the suit correct. Yes, because I think maybe he may have worried Jason may have altered the suit or maybe removed stuff that wasn't there. Color-wise, it's slightly different presented here, a little more red, but they kept the white gloves. That was an important thing. And he acts like a complete gentleman desire, who's wearing not like a regular dress per se. It looks more like a fancy, wealthy person style dress, but with like a shirt. Like a shirt with like a white dress, and of course they go around town. They do cut out basically a scene from the book where they actually interact with children. My guess this is cut due to time. I don't have a problem with this at all. So we also see like the opening of the Goddess Festival. I'm assuming that this lady making this speech is probably the ruler of Aurora. I mean, the goddesses basically are respected, but they're not the rulers of Aurora. Basically, if one can tell, she looks very human, very beautiful woman, and of course, she's got a big chest. And Freya is there. You're thinking, why is Freya in here and not in basically her house? Well, there's stuff related to her later. So, opens festival, and of course, basically a Belle just giving Sire a good time, like brushing like a leaf out of her hair. And before all this happened, basically he had sort of a practice date. Like, oh yeah, buy this thing for a beautiful woman. And just by sheer coincidence, this looks like basically a crampy, I think it is. Well, it looks like to me anyways. It looks like one of those Japanese dishes that's very popular over there. That's not ramen or curry. And just by sheer coincidence, he runs into Daphne Cassandra. Yes, I found this to be interesting. In case you're curious though, did this scene happen in the book? It did. In chapter 3. Now, throughout the episode, Cassandra's acting very bashful toward Belle. Like her face is very red. Now, in case you're curious, why is she acting this way? Cassandra is in love with Belle. They confirm this in volume 12 of the books. Yes. They confirm it. Ah, come on. Yeah, they confirm it in volume 12 of the books, and that was shown in the anime that she definitely is in love with him. For Daphne, she's like, I don't care. She just basically drinks some orange juice, whatever. And of course, he just wipes a little cream off her face, like being very much a gentleman. And then never seen the rest of the episode. Excuse me. Yes. So I had to bring that up because I was going to forget about it. So they basically go various places, try berries. That's after the whole berries thing. They run the children, which I think they cut that in the anime, from what I can tell. And then we see also during the course of the episode where, get this, the Freya family are following them. Now, from what I can tell, a lot of their dialogue is kept from the book. Like, one of them, what's his name here? Alan, he basically kept his line of, my loyalty is to the goddess. Yes, that is actually from the book. That is not made for the anime. While everybody's watching, basically them on their date. And of course, basically, like, the girls from the pub proceed to follow them on the date. Obviously. Yeah, because of course they left the Heste Familia basically being the staff of the Mamma Mia's basically her pub that she basically has. So then of course just by sheer coincidence, right after, I think it was after you see in this tower, you see Freya looking at Belle, and she's very angry at him. And Sire just takes them away. Then, just by sheer coincidence, they run to ice. Which, in terms of the anime, this is the first time she's been seen since the end of season 3. She was absent from the entirety of the previous season. Yeah, she was not there. In case you're curious, did they cut her out? Did they remove her from the adaptation of the anime? The answer is no. She's actually not in the books, per se. In case you're curious, though, why in the world that they basically moved her? Why was she not there? Well, in the case of that, you kind of have to read the spin-off series, Sorceria. Because Book 12 kind of, in a way, caught up to the events of Book 11 of the main series. That's kind of what happened there. They kind of come up with that, and then pretty much like that particular light novel series, get this, decided not to release a single volume in here for a few years. And now they released 2 more volumes in Japan. Now, have I used Sorceria before? Well, they had an anime. They did. Where they adapted the first 3 books. And I believe they adapted this after the completion of season 1 of the show that they decided to do this. And mostly put, the Sorceria is basically, a lot of it takes place, like in the case of the first season of the show, I explained this in my review of the series. I believe that it took place like during the events of the first season of the show. Like a lot of it's here like leading up to certain like events. The best way to describe Sorceria is what basically the Loki family was up to, whether or not seen on screen in the main series. Excuse me. Now, why is Ainz here in my ass? Well, she's actually in the book itself, and she plays a minor role in Volume 17. I say a minor role because that's kind of true. And I think she plays a larger role in Book 18. She's here as set up for the very next book. That's pretty much for her purpose here. And of course, like, Osiris like, over here on a date, and of course she takes Belle away. And just by sheer coincidence, Like, not even 2 or 3 minutes pass by, and then Hestia runs into Ice. Yes. Calls her, what? Calls her, what's her face? Yes, which they mentioned her name in the last episode. I forgot to mention that. So, they go look for Belle, and then Sire takes Belle to this side alley. Belle kind of accidentally drops the fact that the reason why he's acting this way because he was going through lessons. With Helden. And Suru, she basically kind of guessed it. But she, from what I can tell, didn't have an issue with it per se. It's just that, well, the episode ends quite interesting note here, which, by the way, this comes toward the end of the, like, adaptation-wise. They stop pretty much toward the end of page 118 of the book, where she asks Belle to kidnap her. That's actually changed in the book, where she says, Belle, take me away. Interesting. Now, my guess is the reason why they changed that because that was something that Belle said when he talks about kidnapping her. Yes, that's kind of what goes on there. I mean, despite the couple cuts they made this episode, I'd say the children thing, probably the reason why they cut that from the anime, and this is my personal guess, because it takes up like takes about 10 pages of the book, this scene. And my guess is they probably want to keep the story forward. They probably cut it due to time. The whole thing with Welf, like the whole thing with them, like cutting out the fact that little factoid about the outfit he's wearing and what Lily's wearing. I don't have much of an issue with it per se. I kind of wish they would have kept that in the dialogue. I do have a bit of an issue with that one, but the children's scene I don't have really an issue with. I have nothing against children's scenes, but I think now, like I said, the reason why they cut it, time. That was simply the reason for it. Yep. I know it's quite long, talking about episodes only 23 minutes, but there's that. So, before in this video, a couple videos ago, when I did my Chain Soldier review, somebody commented on the fact that should have embassy in my videos, and they commented on my looks. They also mentioned I have charisma. I'm like, okay, I get the fact he praised the fact I have charisma about this stuff, but talking about my looks? Seriously? Like, I am who I am. I can't change who I am. As for the embassy part, I'm not really sure exactly what they mean. Oh, also, one other thing I forgot to mention here, before I did mention in my last video yesterday, in case you're curious though, Nick, is that your bed? It looks a little bit closer than it was with 2 videos ago. Okay, there is a reason for that. So, during the hurricane, some of the water came down a chimney I have in my house, and it didn't go down the correct way, so it went into my wall over here, and leaked onto my carpet. Yes, I have a fan running right now on my floor, trying to dry my carpet. Because my carpet got wet. Like, in sort of this L formation, and we had to pull my bed out in order to see if there's any damage back there. There was. Like, there's a little damage. Basically, it's something fixed later. That's the reason why my bed is right now. When it gets taken care of, it'll be moved back. Don't worry about that. I had to mention it. Otherwise, though, some people are like, man, it's like you have no space. They're like, also, where's your... Like, did you go to your chest? No, that's actually right behind me. It's actually what's had to be pushed up because, well, that's kind of what happened here. It's it's something basically that we have to deal with. So there's that. Okay, so that's pretty much a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. So, I'm very happy with this video because this is something I wanted to do since Thursday. But the only reason I didn't do it Thursday, no power. That was the reason why. And that's why I'm doing this today. So, the very next 2 videos, yes, 2 videos, will be our review of the 2 most recent episodes released for Case Closed. Yes, the reason I'm doing this next, because this is series I'm behind on, and I figured though, why not? This is so, right after that, all I have to worry about is the stuff that aired Sunday. And that's it. Okay, but see you next video. Bye.